The film begins on an isolated road. A van is driving along peacefully when a police car passes by. A little later, a white car appears on the side of the road in front of the van. A girl is sitting in the car. Her name is Joo-yeon. The car is pulled over because it has a flat tire. Joo-yeon is talking to her fiancé, saying, I love going to the orphanage. The children there are so cute. She says, I have called a tow truck. It will be here in a little while. But then we see a man approaching the car. He says to Joo-yeon, did you get a flat tire? But Joo-yeon says, I called a tow truck. The man says, it will take them a while to get here with all this snow. Let me take a look. Joo-yeon is still on the call. Her fiancé tells her to wait for the tow truck and apologizes because it's her birthday and he isn't with her. The call ends. The man comes back and says, your car wheels are stuck in the snow. But Joo-yeon tells him to leave and says, I will wait for the tow truck. The man starts to walk towards his van, but even after a while, the van doesn't move from its position. Seeing this, Joo-yeon panics and starts her car. Just then, the man suddenly attacks her, breaking the car window and getting inside. He beats Joo-yeon very badly and injures her. After that, he drives her away. The scene changes. We see her in a blood-soaked plastic bag. The same man is there too. He puts iron chains on Joo-yeon's hands and then approaches her with two sharp-edged weapons. He touches her and says, your skin is so soft, I won't have to work too hard. But Joo-yeon requests for her life. I am pregnant. Please let me leave. But he doesn't listen. He ends her life without mercy. Then a ring slips from Joo-yeon's finger. He searches for it but can't find it. He cleans up a little and leaves quietly. In the following scene, a small boy plays with a stick by the road. He notices a plastic bag, reaches inside and pulls something out, a portion of what's left behind. He freezes in shock, then screams, calling out to his friends. In no time, hundreds of police officers are there searching for Joo-yeon's body. Both Joo-yeon's father and fiancé arrives. Just then, a police officer notices something in the water. It is Joo-yeon's severed head. The view makes the officer want to vomit and chaos arises. The police put her head in a box. Her father and fiancé are both watching this. Now their hopes are crushed like glass. In the following scene, we see Joo-yeon's father and fiancé sitting together. Joo-yeon's father was a police detective for 30 years, but he is deeply hurt by the fact that he couldn't save his own daughter. His fiancé tells him not to smoke. At the funeral, he says a final goodbye to Joo-yeon and makes a promise. I will kill your killer. Because he loved Joo-yeon very much and they were about to get married, he sets out to fulfill his promise. We now see him in his office. His name is Kim Soo and he is an agent in the National Intelligence Service. He takes 2 weeks off, meets his friend who gives him a small capsule and says, whoever has this capsule, you can see their location and listen to what they are saying. But if anyone finds out about this, you both could get into trouble. Kim Soo tells him to stay calm and leaves with the capsule. He goes to Joo-yeon's house. There her father tells him that the police suspect 4 people who have done this before. Just then, Joo-yeon's sister arrives and tells Kim Soo to eat and leave. But he takes a picture and leaves instead. At home, he prints the picture and heads to the first criminal's house. There he beats him badly and questions him, but the man doesn't talk. Kim Soo hits his private parts with an iron and leaves. Next, we see the criminal in the hospital. He has admitted to killing 2 girls and keeps repeating just one thing, save me. Now we see Kim Soo catching the second criminal. He grabs and beats him. But he isn't the one Kim Soo is looking for either. He goes to sleep, but there is no sleep in his eyes. He looks at the picture of the third criminal. Then another dark night, a lone girl is by the side of the road. and the same van pulls up. It stops beside the girl. This is the third killer. His name is Kyung. He tells the girl to get in, but the girl refuses. When Kyung insists, he sits with him. A little while later, the girl asks, "Is this a school van?" But Kyung doesn't answer and starts searching for something behind the seat. He places an iron pipe next to the gearbox. He stops the van and says, "You're thinking you made a mistake by sitting down, aren't you?" And he starts sitting her with the pipe. He takes the girl to the same place where he killed Joo-yeon and kills her too. After that, he puts oil in his hair, applies cream to his face, and starts playing the guitar in his room. The scene changes. We see Kim Soo outside a house. This is Kyung's house. Kim Soo has come here disguised as an insurance agent. Here he finds out that Kyung has parents and a son, but he never comes home. Kim Soo goes outside and finds Kyung's son. He asks where the father lives and arrives at the place. There he finds a sniper rifle and a cabinet full of handbags, clothes and makeup. Just then he hears something coming. Kim Soo looks, but there is no one there. Then he finds Joo-young's ring in the drain. He somehow pulls himself together. Next, we see some girls in the criminal's van. Because this criminal works as a driver, he has his eye on these girls. But he doesn't know there is something embedded in his van. Now there's only one girl left in the van. Night is falling. Kyung takes the girl to an isolated spot and ties her up. Kim Soo is also there following him. Kyung begins to assault the girl, but then a voice comes from behind. Kyung turns with his weapon and it's Kim Soo. Kyung asks, "Are you a cop?" But Kim Soo doesn't say anything. Now the two of them have a brutal fight. Kim Soo beats Kyung badly. As the killer is about to die, Kim Soo picks up a rock but unexpectedly stops and puts the tracking capsule in his mouth. Then he throws him into a pit. When Kyung recovers consciousness, he laughs, heads out onto the street and starts hitchhiking. Meanwhile, Kim Soo is tracking his location. A taxi driver gives Kyung a ride. In the car, Kyung kills the driver and another passenger, takes their belongings and heads to a doctor. He is rude to the doctor, but then a nurse calls him from behind for medicine. Kyung starts to harass her, asking her unfitting questions and locking the door. He tells her to change her clothes. When she refuses, he threatens to hurt her. Just then, Kim Soo arrives and stops Kyung, beating him badly because he could track both his voice and location through the capsule. He tells the nurse to stay there and says, "You need to treat his injuries." Kim Soo then rips Kyung's leg and says, "I will make you suffer so much that you will die every moment." And then he lets him go again. Now Kyung realizes someone is taking revenge on him. He gets into a taxi and drives off in anger. Along the way, he asks for a lift once more, but this time it's not a taxi, an army truck stops. In the following scene, we see a new character feeding human flesh to dogs. Kyung is heading to this person. Meanwhile, Joo-yeon's father tells Kim Soo to stop all of this. Joo-yeon's sister says the same, but Kim Soo ignores them and follows the killer. Here we see Kyung and his friend eating. That's their work. They're eating human flesh. The two have known each other for a long time. Kim Soo has also arrived outside. Kyung explains that someone keeps attacking him, beating him up and then letting him go. But his friend laughs at him, tells him to go to sleep and says, "I will get ready for the next hunt." He gets up and walks away, but Kyung thinks about something and smiles faintly. Meanwhile, his friend is taking a girl away to kill her. Outside, Kim Soo is making his way in. Kyung's partner is about to slash the girl, but she starts crying. Just then the music cuts out. He goes to turn it back on, but the girl has disappeared. Kim Soo appears and a fight breaks out. Kyung hears the noise and comes in with a gun. Meanwhile, his friend is completely defeated. Kim Soo has plunged a knife into his hand. Kyung opens fires, but Kim Soo escapes. And there's a brief game of hide and seek. Once again, Kim Soo beats him ruthlessly. This time it looks he has murdered him. The subsequent morning, the police are seen taking two bodies away. Joo-yeon's father tells the detective chief about Kim-soo. The chief tells him to stop and says he is becoming the devil himself. On the other hand, Kim-soo's junior gives him the same advice. Kyung was lying beside them. Kim-soo and his junior thought he was unconscious, but he was faking it and eavesdropping on everything, including the part about the capsule that gets him caught every time. Kyung then takes several strong laxatives so that he can banish the capsule through his bowels. He then kills another person, forces the capsule into his mouth, and takes his car to make Kim-soo arrive late and realize he is already gone. Kyung calls the police and says, "I want to surrender." Meanwhile, Kim-soo arrives at the hospital where Kyung's friend is admitted. He wasn't dead. Kim-soo asks where Kyung went. The friend says he is a hunter. First he killed your fiancée, now he is going to kill her family. I am a decent man, but Kyung first does something wrong to the girl, then tortures her to death. He starts laughing loudly. In a rage, Kim-soo tears the man's face apart, making him look like a joker. He then speeds off in his car. On the way, he learns from his junior that Kyung is up to something big and plans to surrender to the police. Kim-soo immediately calls Joo-yeon's father, but he doesn't answer because someone has already arrived at the door. Then Kim-soo calls the chief detective and tells him everything. Meanwhile, we see Kyung at Joo-yeon's father's home. He is holding a blood-stained knife, casually eating and organizing photos. He cruelly kills Joo-yeon's father. Just then, Joo-yeon's sister arrives. He goes inside and Kyung quickly attacks her. Now we see police officers and the chief. Kim-soo arrives. The chief tries to stop him, but he recovers his composure and lets Kim-soo go inside the house. Joo-yeon's father still has a little life left in him. Just then the chief gets a call from Kyung. He asks to speak with Kim-soo and says, "What did you think? That you won or I did? You shouldn't have messed with me." We get a sight of Joo-yeon's sister, meaning the same thing happened to her as it did to the others. Outside, the police are waiting on the street for Kyung to arrive. He stops his car and stands in the middle of the road, as if he's won. But then Kim-soo arrives in his car and drags him away. The police can only watch. Kim-soo takes him to the same place where he killed all his victims. He tortures Kyung, but it has no effect on him. Kim-soo says furiously, "I want you to feel the consequences of your activities even after this is over." He places a rope in Kyung's mouth as part of the plan. If the killer lets go of it, a heavy blade hanging above will drop and kill him. He ties the other end of the rope at the door so that if anyone opens it, the rope will be pulled and the blade will fall. Kim-soo goes outside and puts on his earphones so he can hear the cries and find peace. He had called Kyung's son and parents and summoned them here. The farther Kim-soo got from them, the closer Kyung's family got to the door. Kyung laughs, but as soon as he hears his son and parents at the door, he tries to stop them. He can't speak clearly with the rope in his mouth. As his son yanks the door open, Kyung's head is severed right in front of his family at their own hands. Kim-soo has been listening to it all, and now his revenge is complete. He breaks down in tears, and this is where the movie ends.